churches. They're so beautiful, yet in many cases they're so far away. That's where I come in. Welcome to The Pilgrim, the show where I go to national shrines, and other places of pilgrimage to show you them. Whether fly by plane to Las Vegas or drive to Indiana, welcome to The Pilgrim. St. Louis. It's a big city, so of course there's multiple national shrines and other places of pilgrimage, which is why we split our trip to the St. Louis area into 3 parts. In part 1, which you are watching now, we'll visit the National Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows. In part 2, we'll visit Holy Family Catholic Church, the oldest Catholic church in Illinois, and the somewhat obscure Basilica of St. Louis, King of France, the Old Cathedral. And in part 3, we'll visit the more popular Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis. Father Paul Gillette from the Missionary Oblates of Mary Immaculate commissioned the famous artist J. Watson Davis to paint a picture of Our Lady of the Snows. The picture was then hung in the St. Henry Seminary Chapel in Belleville, Illinois. In April of 1943, the perpetual novena to Our Lady of the Snows was begun, which began to attract thousands. They then realized that a permanent shrine had to be built. In 1958, Father Edwin Guild, along with the Laymen's Association, bought about 80 acres where the Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows presently resides. Between 1960 and 1963, with the help of the Missionary Oblates of Mary Immaculate, they bought even more land, totaling up to 200 acres. It has now become the National Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows, which we are now going to visit. We're going to start at the Visitor Center on the northeast corner of the property. Inside the Visitor Center is a museum called Arctic Wings and a Shrine. When you enter it, you don't think it's that big, but it keeps on going and going. When you enter, the first room talks about all the different prayer areas at the shrine. After walking through a lit pathway that has photos of Christmas at the shrine, you enter the Arctic Wings section. After that, there's a section about the Missionary Oblates of Mary Immaculate. After that, there's a section about the canonization process, which has a prayer wall. After that, there's another section that we didn't even take photos of, and then finally, a fun kids section. But why has Mary been given the title Our Lady of the Snows? It is said that around 352 AD, a man by the name of John and his wife wished to donate their possessions in honor of Mary since they had no children to give them to, and asked for a sign to know what to do with their possessions. And on August 5th, in the middle of summer, snow fell on the present site of St. Mary Major Church in Rome in the shape of a church. John and his wife knew that this was a sign they had a vision about the night before. Their possessions and money would go to the funding of the building of the Basilica of St. Mary Major, which would become the first Roman Catholic church dedicated to Mary. And this is where we get the title Our Lady of the Snows, because of the miraculous snowfall. As is the case with every shrine we've visited, there is a gift shop. Next to the Visitor Center is the King's House Retreat Center, a fun playground, and the Our Lady of the Snows Church. On your way down to the main shrine amphitheater, don't forget to take into account the Millennium Spire. Located under and behind the main shrine amphitheater is the Chapel to Christ the King. Behind the tabernacle are 5 mosaics depicting the 5 sorrowful mysteries of the Rosary. Above the altar is a beautiful mosaic depicting the Holy Spirit. In the chapel there are statues of Mary under her titles as Our Lady of Louvain, the Oblate Madonna, Our Lady of Knock, and Our Lady of Fatima. Next to the Christ the King chapel, there are the Rosary courts, depicting in beautiful mosaic the glorious and joyful mysteries. No sorrowful mysteries because they were in the Christ the King chapel, and no luminous mysteries because they were not added to the Rosary until after the shrine was built. Right behind the main shrine amphitheater is the Santo Niño de Cebu Chapel. Next to the tabernacle and the chapel are statues of Santo Niño de Cebu and Our Lady of Penafrancia. This is the main shrine amphitheater, the main section of the shrine. It can accommodate 7,000 people. Until the 1990s, when the indoor Church of Our Lady of the Snows was built, this was the main worship space for the shrine, and in many ways still is. It's mainly used for important worship services that have a lot of people attending them. Even though most masses are now held in the church, this is still the main shrine. It may seem somewhat modern, which it is, but it is rich in symbolism. In whatever direction you're in, the top part of the shrine creates the shape of an M for Mary. She is beneath a dove. Her blue gown is in the shape of a calla lily, a symbol of purity, and stands before a flame. She is surrounded by a chalice, representing her role as Christ's mother, and to her left and right are the words, "Praise be Jesus Christ" and "Mary Immaculate." In 2005, this Our Lady of Guadalupe prayer area was added. As you walk along the path, on a few signs, it tells the story of Our Lady of Guadalupe in both English and Spanish. At the end of the path, there are beautiful sculptures of St. Juan Diego and Our Lady of Guadalupe. And behind Our Lady of Guadalupe is a beautiful little waterfall. You may even see a butterfly. Next to the Our Lady of Guadalupe area is the Annunciation Garden. In the middle of a beautiful pool, there are the 4 shrine bells, which ring very loudly each hour. You'll hear them later in the video. You can also see that there are words on the bells, even names for the bells. In fact, it is unusual for a church bell to not have a name. So if your church has a bell, see if it has a name. These bells were originally made in Germany, brought to a church in Chicago, and then brought to this shrine when that church closed. Behind the bells is the namesake for the garden, larger-than-life sculptures depicting the Annunciation, and in front of it is the tomb of the founder of the shrine, Father Edwin Guild. Not far from this is the Lord's Grotto. This is one of the oldest and most visited spots at the shrine. Work began on it in 1959, and it is 2/3 the size of the original grotto in Lourdes, France. The altar in the grotto has a beautiful example of the altar stone. All normal altars have an altar stone. And inside a smaller hole covered by a stone is the relic, which is what the priest kisses at the beginning and end of each Mass. And our final stop at the shrine is the Way of the Cross. The nice thing about it is that you can either drive it or walk it. The Way of the Cross starts with the Agony Garden, goes through the 14 stations of the cross, and ends with the Resurrection Garden. You may even see some deer. The stations of the cross here are nice and clean, and they are very beautiful. Thank you for joining us as we visited the National Shrine of Our Lady of the Snows in Belleville, Illinois, and I'll see you in part 2 of the St. Louis area. So until then, God bless.